Media.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Chabruggi, and joining me from Arizona is Derek. How you doing, Derek?
Doing pretty good. Everybody, you can actually see what Ricky looks like now.
Yeah, I got a new rig going on here. Got the new mic stand, new headphones, new webcam. Got the green screen behind me now, so we got the matching backgrounds and stuff.
This is a real podcast, folks.
Oh, yeah.
You're here, and this is what's happening. This was a comment from like 2 days ago. Christina Matthews said hi from Branson a few days ago.
She must have watched the replay.
Well, this was on this show because me and Brandon were in the studio last night, and I know that way we were all in the studio.
Oh, wow.
Missouri, Michelle Daniels-Wittenberg.
Hey, Michelle. We got Andrea Vian here from Junction City.
Crystal Walden.
And Crystal and Katie.
From Garnett, Kansas. And then Roxanne Fisher, Jackson.
Roxanne down there in Oklahoma. Hopefully you guys are hearing me loud and clear with this new setup. I love it.
Yeah, I hear you. You sound great.
Man.
I feel like this is the first time I'm ever hearing your voice.
I'm telling you, it sounds so different to me in these headphones too. I mean, this is just unbelievable.
Yeah. And we are coming to you live from Salina, Kansas, and Phoenix, Arizona, and Raleigh, North Carolina tonight, everybody.
Yep.
Crystal Walden from Pittsburgh in the house. We got Esmeralda from Wichita in the house.
Yep.
We got a light crowd tonight. Where's everybody at?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I know last week everybody's watching the Chiefs game. That's why nobody was here last week.
Yeah.
I don't know what the excuse is this week. I know the Chiefs aren't playing tonight, so.
No. No, they're not doing too good right now. They got 7 people out on the COVID list right now.
Yeah, that's
including Travis Kelce.
See, Roxanne says you sound good.
Thank you. Yeah, there are 2.
Oh, yeah, there is football on tonight. Duh.
Yeah, there's 2 games actually, I think. Giants and Eagles. No, Eagles and Washington tonight.
Who cares about those teams? Come help us find people.
Yeah. And I can't think of who the other game is. They had to postpone a couple of games because of COVID issues.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot's been going on a lot, man. Just like all these Shelly Brennan from Fort Scott, all these NFL teams are getting blasted with COVID right now, and they're rescheduling all these games like crazy. So yeah, football's pretty weird right now.
Yeah. It's sad.
I feel like football's more disrupted now than it was when COVID first happened.
It seems like it. 2
they
games
say
in the
this
fourth
new
quarter
variant.
Right, Philly leading Washington. Come on, Philly! I need you to win. Rams beating Seattle. I need Philly to win, and because if Philly wins, Dallas clinches the division.
So when those quarters are over, we'll get an audience again.
Oh yeah, probably.
Terry Chabruggi will keep us in the loop on what's going on.
Yeah. I don't know how long he'll be with us because he's got to be at work at 6 in the morning, 6 or 6:30 in the morning.
Oh God.
Yeah. They've got him doing 6 a.m.s all week. So I've nicknamed him Heavy Early.
Heavy Early. Well, you got to do what you got to do, I guess.
Yeah. Seahawks 10. Rams game over. Washington game almost. Oh, good. That means if Eagles pull this off, then Dallas clinches the division.
Right.
And I'm happy about that.
Low 600 for Terry Chabruggi.
Yeah, he says Heavy Early, and it is. It's a little inside humor from WKRP in Cincinnati.
Wow. Seahawks 10s, Rams 20, game over. Hey, you never know, man.
Yeah.
You never know. Well, once we quit competing with the NFL, maybe we can do something here. This is rough.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's probably some people traveling for the holidays and stuff too, getting an early start. School's out now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not sure really how travel's going with the COVID stuff, but
yeah, who knows, man? Who knows? Well, let's take a quick break and we're going to cover
Okay.
some cases. You're watching the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. We'll be right back after this.
If you or someone you know is a victim of human trafficking, please call the National Human Trafficking Line at 1-888-373-7888.
All right, we're going to start off with Dennis Leshbaugh Jr. He is missing from Iola, Kansas since August 13th of 2017. He was 44 when he was missing. He's now 49. He is 5'6" to 5'8", and he weighs between 180 and 200 pounds. He has dark brown hair and blue eyes. He went camping with his girlfriend off of Ford Road near the Neosho River outside of Chanute, Kansas. They had an argument, and Dennis left in his van. The van was found almost 2 weeks later, abandoned, approximately 5 miles from where they were camping in a field on Arizona Road, close to Neosho County and Allen County line on the Allen County side. At the time of his disappearance, Dennis was 44 years old. He would now be 49. He is between 5'6" and 5'8", weighs between 180 and 200 pounds, has dark brown hair and blue eyes, has surgical scars on both shoulders and a tattoo on his right shoulder blade. He had a plate surgically implanted in his back. If you have any information regarding Dennis's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Allen County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-365-1400 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get him back to where he needs to be. Hey, Kelly. I see Kelly Reptoff's here in the house now.
Oh, awesome. What's up, Kelly?
Yeah.
There's our comment. There it is. Pin it up there so everybody can see Kelly's here.
Yeah.
You know, when I think of Dennis, man, just to be completely blatantly honest, because we've been covering this case since I met you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the three pictures we have. The one in the middle, he looks like just a regular guy.
Right.
The one on the right, he looks like a troubled person. Like he might have some, some demons or something.
Right.
So it's like when I see the guy in the middle, I'm just like, I don't know, but it's just like you see that people have different sides to them, like there's different people have different attitudes, different feelings, different moods. And I don't know, man. I feel like this picture on the right, he kind of looks like maybe he's had some rough times, and it just makes me wonder, like who people were hanging out with, who they were, keeping company with. And, anytime somebody just goes missing and completely disappears off the face of the earth, I always want to know who they were talking to at the end, who they were hanging out with.
Yep, definitely. Was that one of your little ones I just heard?
Yeah, they like to scream and yell when they're in the other room. Terry says Philly has beaten Washington. Dallas has won the NFC East. Well, let's get some people in here. Share the show out.
Yeah.
Let's share the show out, y'all. Come on. Let's get it going. Let's get some butts and seats. But no, Dennis Leshbaugh Jr. is a very sad case. It's just, and honestly, like, it's just odd how it happened. Like, they get in a fight, he takes off. And then, if I was the detective, I would ask a lot of questions. Like, did they look for him the night he took off? How did his girlfriend get home? Who else was there?
Yeah.
There's just a lot of questions, and I'm sure the police have, looked into it and have asked all those questions. But I just feel like you just look at who Dennis was, keeping company with towards the end, and maybe you have some answers,
Right. Definitely. Again, I'm pretty sure somebody out there knows something about what's going on with Dennis, and it's just, they need to step up and speak up. And
yeah, agreed, 100%. Do the right thing and say something. I mean, this has been several years ago we're going on here, and it's just time.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Well, let's talk about Daniel Little.
Okay. This is one that I just finished the other day. This is guess you could call it a suspicious death or death investigation, whichever way you want to put it. And this was back in August of this year in Greenleaf, Kansas. At approximately 2:37 in the afternoon, it was reported to the Washington County, Kansas Sheriff's Office that a body presumed to be deceased had been found in the Greenleaf, Kansas area. Upon officers' arrival, an adult male subject was confirmed to be deceased and was identified as Daniel Little, age 40, of 2220 11th Road in Greenleaf. Assistance was requested from the KBI at the time. The cause of death and other factors regarding the death are pending an investigation, and no further details have been released. So hopefully we can help get some information on what's going on with Daniel there. If anyone has any information regarding his death of Daniel Little or the whereabouts his whereabouts on the evening of August 28th or the morning of August 29th, please call the Washington County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-325-2293 or the KBI at 800-572-7463 and see if we can help them figure out what happened to Daniel.
So they're thinking he passed away on the 28th or the 29th?
Yeah, either the evening of the 28th or the morning of the 29th.
Okay, so he was not that far gone when they found him. He had
No.
Okay. Yeah, again, like me and Brandon talked about it last week. Like, just pull up Daniel's cell phone and look through it for the past month. I'm sure you'll find something. And again, police can't just do that.
Yeah,
they can't just go grab somebody's phone and go through it. I know there's rules and legal tape and stuff. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. It'd be hard to pull something like if this was one person. Now, are we saying like, do they say how? Did they say how he died?
No, I haven't heard or seen anything on that. I was doing some Google searching and all I found was basically what I read on a couple different websites, and that was it. I found his obituary. But aside from that and the same article, the same wording that I just read in two different articles on two different sites, that was it. Nothing.
Obituaries do not typically say how somebody perishes, which is frustrating when you find out somebody passed away and you don't want to be just out front and be like, hey, what happened to your loved one, but I don't know. I think that's it's obviously suspicious and somebody knows something.
And I did speak with a family member of Daniel's and they're not happy with the tiny little bit of amount of coverage there's been in his death. They would like to see more, and that's why they reached out to me, is to help get the word out there more and try to generate some information, because there's just not enough going on in the media with it.
Right. Terry says, sounds suspicious to me. Why else would authorities being asked the public cell?
True.
Yeah.
True.
Well, I think it's sad. It's a sad thing for Daniel Little. Looks like a nice guy and no longer with us no more.
Yeah. Definitely.
But I mean, if he was just laying there dead and there was no signs of foul play and it just looked like he just died, then I don't see them making, putting this flyer out, having you put this flyer out, having this information out there. Obviously something looks suspicious on this case.
Right.
Wow. Well, I hope we can that we can find something and figure something out, because that's real tough, for his family that has to go through that right now. We got an out-of-state case we're going to talk about now. Let's go ahead and talk about Brendan Santo from Lansing.
Yeah, Michigan. That one I was messaged on Kansas Missing and asked if we could get it out there too for him as well. Yeah, sure, not a problem. Missing from Lansing, Michigan since October 29th of 2021. He's 18. He's 5 foot 10 inches tall, 160 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. Brendan was last seen leaving Yakeley Hall on Michigan State University's campus shortly before midnight, heading towards the Brody neighborhood. Brendan is not an MSU student, but was visiting friends on campus. Again, he's 18 years old. He's 5 foot 10, weighs 160 pounds. He has brown hair and hazel eyes, has a mole under his bottom lip on the right side. He was last known to be wearing a black t-shirt, gray sweatpants, a black Detroit Red Wings baseball hat pictured on the far right, and white high-top shoes. Brandon was also wearing a gold cross necklace. He was carrying a cell phone and his car keys, which you can see there's photos of all of that there. And that photo, the hat's not only the one on the far right, it's also the one in the second from the left as well. It's the
Right.
same hat. So if you have any information, please contact the Michigan State University Police Tip Line at 844-996-7873, or you can email it to tips@police.msu.edu, and tips can be made anonymously. And there's over a $20,000 reward to anyone with credible information that leads to bringing Brendan home, and that reward's handled by Crime Stoppers of Mid-Michigan.
Yeah, that's serious business. Anytime you see $20,000 offered up as a reward,
Yeah.
They know something. There's something's fishy about this situation.
Yeah.
I mean, an 18-year-old goes radio silence, you know, not the craziest thing in the world to happen. You know, how many teenagers do we cover a week on this show, and there's no $20,000 looking for them?
No doubt.
They know something here that's just bad, in my opinion. It's
Yeah.
makes me nervous for this kid, you know, because just like Dietrich Foster, there's a $5,000 reward for information. You know, it's just like anytime you see like something like that, you're just like, what do the police know that would cause them to do something like that? To say, you know, we're going to offer an award, you know, like a $20,000 reward. I don't know. It just makes me feel really scared. It doesn't seem like a good sign.
Hey, Trisha, glad you're here tonight. Hey, you like the new setup? Got the new mic going on, and the new headphones, and the new webcam, and light ring, and green screen, and just a whole new setup. Thanks to Derek for that, by the way.
Well, thanks to our sponsor, Rad Enterprises.
Yeah,
we have a sponsor. Well, it's more of a partner. Yeah, a partner, Rad Enterprises. They help.
And then I
us out
saw this one right here. I have not, Cindy. If there's any links to any articles that you might have or any information you might have on that, message it to me on the page, and I'll check into it and see if I can get something made and posted for him. And T Squared's got something going here. Lack of info being shared with the public by authorities, particularly here in the Salina areas, that originally led to the birth of KMU. So glad people are reaching out. That was my hope when the seeds were planted for KMU. So completely proud of what he has done with us. Well, thank you, little brother. I've been busting my tail on it, that's for sure, for almost 10 years.
All right.
It'll be 10 years in April. Hard to believe.
Hey, buddy, I've been here for 2 years.
I know you have.
I mean, I should get something. I mean, maybe, you know, maybe a card. You can get me a card, Ricky. Trisha shared it.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Trisha.
Cindy says he has been missing quite a while. Yeah.
And she said she will do that. Thank you. You're welcome, Cindy. And thank you.
Yeah, that's rough. Well, we're going to take a quick break real quick. You're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. We'll be right back after this.
Leaving an abusive relationship is a highly personal, individual decision, but all survivors benefit from having trusted people during this time. Since those experiencing abuse are often isolated by their abusers, it's important to know how you can support survivors on their path to finding safety. If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, please reach out to the hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Again, that's 1-800-799-7233.
Roxanne said she yawned for you, Derek. It's okay, I yawned off camera, so.
Right. You know, I wish there was a reward for Charles Everett McHenry. This has been just ridiculous. 2016.
Yeah, missing from Great Bend since May 6, 2016. He was 27 when he went missing. He would now be 33. He is 6'2", weighs 180 pounds, has black hair and black eyes. Let's see. He was last known to be driving an unknown make two-door black car away from a house in the 500 block of Northwest 20 Avenue between Hoisington and Great Bend. He was last known to be wearing a black T-shirt and denim shorts. He has tattoos on his left arm. One is of the cross, and it says Tyler on his upper arm, and an eagle with a flag on the lower arm. His eyebrow and left ear are pierced. He has a scar near the left knee, a scar on the right arm from the elbow to the wrist, a scar on the right knee, a scar on the forehead, scars on both sides of the ribs, a scar on the bottom of his left foot, and a dimple dip in his left bicep. He has a plate in the right arm from the elbow to the wrist and 2 screws in his left knee. If you have any information regarding Charles's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Great Bend, Kansas Police Department at 620-793-4120 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can help bring Charles home where he needs to be.
Right. Great Bend's not that big, man. I can't see how like a secret like this would be kept that well. I mean, if something happened, bad.
Yeah.
Great Bend's not that big.
No, it's pretty small. I'm sure somebody knows something and just, you got to do the right thing and start talking.
Right. Yeah.
That's
I hate seeing, 2016,
Yeah.
That means that Charles's family, loved ones, friends, they haven't heard him, seen his face, heard his voice since May of 2016. That's rough.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a rough situation. Well, this next case has been something that's been. I was very intrigued by it when we were covering it pretty much weekly there for a while, and then it just sort of stopped. We stopped getting information about Donald Walters. But catch us up on what's going on in the world of Donald Walters.
Okay, he's missing from Great Bend, Kansas. Another Great Bend. Since July 7th of 2020, he was 75 when he went missing. He's now 77. He's 5'5" to 5'7". He weighs between 135 and 150 pounds, has gray hair and blue eyes. They say he suffers from Alzheimer's. His vehicle was located near Okmulgee and McIntosh County lines near the Eufaula Wildlife Management Area east of Henrietta, Oklahoma, around July 15th of 2020. Search turned out of the area turned up some of his personal items. I just was watching not too awful long ago the last installment of Chillin' with Chet on YouTube. He's been doing a pretty deep dive into Donald's disappearance and just had the 4th, and what he says is the last installment unless something else comes up. But he showed some pictures of the vehicle when it was found down there, and it looked like it got some pretty heavy water inside the vehicle because it flooded in that area at some point. But they did a big search in that area down there. Chet did with a bunch of people, and they didn't find anything new or find Donald or anything. But they really tried hard. They really did. I was hoping they'd find something, but they didn't.
Right.
If you have any information regarding Donald's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call 911 or call the Okmulgee County Sheriff's Office at 918-756-4311 or the Great Bend, Kansas Police Department at 620-793-4120 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get Donald found and back home. One of the big questions is, why was he in Oklahoma? Why did he go down there from Kansas? Because he was at that drag strip in Great Bend and driving a Porsche, and he drag raced Chet a couple times. He beat Chet once, and Chet beat him once, and after that, not too long after, that's when he disappeared.
Was this guy acting out of sorts?
No, in the video that I watched, because they actually showed video. Matter of fact, the 2 shots on the other side of the center photo on the flyer, I screenshotted from the video, and he seemed to me to be okay. I mean, he apparently is a retired spy for the government and had his hand in quite a bit of top secret stuff. So some people were maybe speculating, maybe because he was talking about it or whatever, the government might have silenced him, possibly. I mean, that's one working theory, I guess. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, honestly, man, that doesn't sound far fetched to me.
Yeah.
Like I'll admit I pretty much have a tinfoil hat on my head most of the time. But I mean, if he knew like state secrets and stuff like that, and he was starting to lose his marbles a little bit, just the Hollywood version of me that wants to believe things that probably aren't true. I could see some being like that would be. I mean, because it's dangerous. You have somebody who has tons of secrets about our country, and then they are no longer in control of their own mind.
Wow.
You know, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
You might have some people saying things they shouldn't. I'm not saying, you know, obviously more than I'm just, you know, talking conspiracies and stuff. But I understand why people are going there, I guess, is what I would say.
Yeah. But if you go to the on YouTube, the Chillin' with Chet YouTube channel, he's got, like I said, 4 videos dedicated to Donald Walters, and it's a lot of interesting information that he's found out and been able to verify and stuff, and including the spy information and stuff like that. He was able to corroborate that and found out that that was accurate information. So he definitely was.
Right.
And Donda says that Chet's videos were very informative. Yeah, they were. They very much were. Yeah.
Right.
So hopefully we can help generate some information to help, you know, get him found.
Yeah, that's rough. Well, hopefully there's some, you know, information.
Yeah, hopefully.
Let me see. Let me see. I did, Ricky. I got it. Your private message you just sent. I took care of it.
Oh, okay, cool.
This is something that's very intriguing, and it's crazy. Like, again, I always forget how big Salina is. But it's a big place, and you guys have a lot of skeletons in your closet over there. But this is one of your biggest skeletons in your closet.
Yeah.
The mystery of where the hell is Catherine Adam?
Yeah, missing from here in Salina since April 29th of 93. She was 35 when she went missing. She's now 63. She's 5'4", 120 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She was last seen at 4:30 in the morning on April 29th of 93 at Quick Shop in the 1700 block of West Crawford here in town. She drove a white full-size Ford van with "She Has Legs" written on the side in blue lettering. Actually, it's blue with white lettering, and the legs logo is dark blue. Her van was turned up abandoned at 5:45 p.m. the day after her disappearance at Russell's Restaurant in the 600 block of West Point Boulevard. The restaurant at the time was closed for remodeling. The van was spattered with mud on the outside, and it was blood-soaked on the inside. A large amount of blood was also found at the storage unit in West Salina, where Catherine, a saleswoman for the Legs Pantyhose Company, picked up her stock each day, but there was no sign of her in either location, and she's never been heard from again. I'd also read in one article or another where it talked about it looked like somebody attempted to try to clean up the crime scene at the storage facility, and apparently there were some shell casings on the ground, apparently. Police speculate someone attacked Catherine when she went inside the storage unit. It appeared they interrupted her in the process of loading the merchandise in her van, leaving the unit door open. Catherine at the time was separated from her husband, and she had at the time had a teenage daughter. Of course, she's an adult now. Her case remains unsolved, and foul play is suspected. And as a matter of fact, I believe they've reclassified it from a missing persons case to a homicide case, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, if you have any information regarding Catherine Adams' disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210, or you can call the KBI at 800-572-7463 or 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help generate some information on Catherine's disappearance. And that far left photo, the color photo of Catherine, that is the last known photo taken of her. She was backing out the door of Quick Shop with a newspaper in one hand, cup of coffee in the other hand. And that was taken from the surveillance video inside Quick Shop, but that's the last known image of her before she disappeared.
Jeez, so haunting.
Yeah. She stopped in there every morning and picked up a paper and a cup of coffee. Of course, it's still a Quick Shop, but they demolished the original building and built it a whole lot bigger and backed it away from the street a little bit more, added more gas pumps. But I mean, it's still a Quick Shop, and they just completely redid it.
Wow.
It used to be just a little tiny thing.
Well,
yeah. And every periodically when I either pick up my brother to take him to work or take him home from work, and or there's other times I drive down that way, but I periodically go by that storage facility where she was loading her stuff at. So I see it pretty frequently.
To me, it's just so scary.
Yeah. And Terry says, this case I want to see solved so badly. Due to the amount of blood found inside her van, they reclassified her case as a homicide. They believe the amount of blood was enough to have come from a fatal injury.
That's what I'm kind of thinking, man. From what I heard from the crime scene, there was just blood everywhere.
Yeah. And like I said, there was evidence that somebody tried to clean it up.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is one of the big mysteries here in town. I know I watched a YouTube video. I can't remember what channel it was on. That was where they were covering, I think it was the Vanished podcast, maybe. But I don't know if this person, somebody was commenting on the video about Catherine that they did. And I don't know if they knew Catherine or whatever, but they were, accusing her of all kinds of stuff, affairs and everything else. I've never heard that before, never been able to substantiate it. So I don't know if there's any truth to it. But
honestly, when I hear that crap, my only thing I want to say is, who cares?
Yeah.
What? Just I'm saying I don't know anything about Catherine Adam, but say all this crap that people say about her is true.
Yeah.
What the hell does that matter? She
doesn't.
She disappeared. She's missing and her blood's everywhere. What does it matter what she did in her spare time? You know what I mean? I hate that people even bring that crap up.
I know around, Trace Evidence Podcast did a good episode on her case too. Yeah, Trace Evidence Podcast is a good podcast. I know around the time that she did disappear, I was working at Bosselman's Truck Plaza out on the interstate on I-70, and it wasn't too long that they started circulating the suspect composite of the I-35, I-70 serial killer. And so I wondered back then if maybe they thought there might be a connection because that was all going on around the same time, but didn't really fit because he was mainly hitting strip malls and stuff like that. So didn't really fit, where he was normally hitting. So I don't know if it'd been the same person or not. I don't know. But I do want to cover that case again eventually because I was reading a recent article where they think they may have been able to link him to another case. So I want to cover that one again at some point.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely interesting, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about Cameron. Who was it? Cameron Anderson Rabon.
Yeah. I was asked if I could cover him and a couple others, and I guess I was given the last names in the wrong order because I had a Raybone Anderson. It was supposed to be Anderson Raybone, so corrected that. He's missing from Lawrence, Kansas since November 3rd of this year. He's 15. He's 5'8", 160 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Cameron's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Lawrence, Kansas Police Department at 785-832-7509 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get him found where he needs to be. It's been over a month and a half. So let's get him found. It's been interesting because apparently my understanding is there hasn't been any information coming out about him. So let's get some generated.
Yeah. How quickly did they find Catherine's vehicle after the quick shot photo was taken?
It was like the next day. And interesting, the Russell's is just right down the street to the west from that quick shop, actually. It's down the street and on the opposite side of the street, back away from Crawford, where Quick Shops is up on Crawford. But, I mean, they're still within eyeshot of each other. Yeah, the 24/7 truck stop sits right in front of Russell's, but you can see, because the way they're built and everything, you can kind of see the back edge of Russell's from Quick Shop.
Wow.
I do want to read a real quick reminder that was sent to me in Messenger from Crystal Walden that's watching us tonight. It's a free ticket home for runaway kids every year. Around 400 kids and teenagers who have run away get a free ride home from Greyhound anywhere in the U.S. It's part of our Home Free program, and here's how it works, and our meaning Greyhounds. They work with National Runaway Safe Lines to make sure runaway kids have a ticket home to get back to their families or legal guardians. To be eligible for a Greyhound ticket home, the child has to call the NRS helpline between 12 and 21 years old, be named on a runaway report, and be willing to be reunited with their family and vice versa. Home Free can only be used on 2 occasions by the same person. They also provide a free ticket for the parent or legal guardian if the young person is under the age of 15. To find out more about National Runaway Safe Line, visit 1-800-runaway.org, which is the Runaway website there. If you or someone you know has run away and wants to come home, or you need some help, call toll-free 1-800-RUNAWAY. That's 800-786-2929. Just wanted to kind of get that out there to remind people that Greyhound does offer that.
Right.
And thank you, Crystal, for sending that to me. Terry says the van was found roughly 36 hours after she was last seen at Quick Shop.
36 hours.
Yep. Oh, there's Dennis. Yeah, from Muddy Waters Search and Recovery. Doing pretty good, Dennis. How are you doing? Been trying to keep up with your case layouts and updates.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna take a quick break, real quick. If you, we'll have more information on it soon, but we have a TikTok we're working on, and Brandon's going to be running that from behind the scenes. So this is a video that's going to be going out on our TikTok pretty soon. We're going to show you real quick, and then we'll be back with some more cases. You're watching KMU Pod.
Hey, this is Brandon with the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast, and today I want to talk about one of our outstanding cases. His name is Alexander Perez. He went missing from Ulysses, Kansas on December 1st of 2020. Alexander contacted a family member via telephone on December 1st and advised he would be coming to their home to wash clothing items. Alexander never arrived at the family member's house in Ulysses. Alexander has not been heard from or seen by family or friends since this date. Alexander had been staying with family and friends prior to his disappearance. It is believed that Alexander may still be in the local Ulysses area, or he may be in the Garden City, Kansas, or surrounding areas. At the time of his disappearance, Alex was 35 years old. He's now 36. He's 5'11" tall and weighs 235 pounds. He has black hair that he shaves nearly bald and brown eyes. Alexander has a tattoo of a bumblebee on his face underneath his left eye. He has Perez tattooed on one of his arms. He has a tattoo of a cross on a chain across his chest. If you have any information regarding Alexander's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Grant County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-356-3500 or the Ulysses, Kansas Police Department at 620-356-4600 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. Let's work together and try and get these people home. Thanks again.
If you or someone you know is thinking of running from home, has run away, or if you are a runaway ready to go back home, call 1-800-RUNAWAY. That's 1-800-786-2929.
All right, let's keep it going with Heaven Kaler here. We've covered her multiple times, and we will continue to do so until we can get some information generated as to where she may be. She's missing from Fort Scott, Kansas since June 24th of 2021. She's 17 years old. She's 5'7" to 5'10", weighs between 130 and 140 pounds. She has dirty blonde hair and blue eyes. If anybody has any information regarding Heaven's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Fort Scott, Kansas Police Department at 620-223-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Heaven found and back to where she needs to be. It's like I said, there's just hasn't been any information coming in about where she's at, so we need to help get that going on, get her back home.
So We've covered. Has she been located safe ever?
No, not that I'm aware of. It's still the same missing since date, June 24th.
And that's the first time we ever covered Heaven.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Well, I hope she turns up. I mean, she's got her whole life ahead of her. She should start off on the right path and
just
let people know she's alive and
not gotten herself into a situation she's not able to get herself out of.
Right.
That's always the scary thing when it's gone on this long. This total silence is, did they get caught up in something they shouldn't have?
Yeah. Who knows? I just hope that it's a good turnout. And Heaven, if you're out there watching this, give somebody a call. Call the police department. Call a teacher, somebody you trust. Just let them know you're alive.
Yeah. And I would also like to see if I can't try to get some additional photos of Heaven to see if maybe she's cut her hair, colored her hair, something along those lines, because we just don't know.
Right. Yeah. And we never know how old the photos are that we get, So
Right.
This is just all we have. And if anybody's out there seeing Heaven, definitely call the numbers that are on the screen. All these flyers that you're seeing tonight will be they are available on Kansas Missing and Unsolved's Facebook page.
Yeah.
And very soon a website that we'll tell you more about later on.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and go out of state again. Let's talk about Rochelle.
Yeah, going back to Heaven real quick, my understanding is that was the only photo of hers that was available on her Facebook, and I researched Facebook myself and researched Instagram. I didn't find her on Instagram because I was trying to see if I could come up with some photos, but didn't find anything.
Right.
So, let's go ahead and move on to Rochelle, you said?
Yep, Rochelle.
Okay, she is missing from Moscow, Colorado since August 15th of 2019. She was 30 when she went missing. She's now 33. She's 5'6", 120 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She was last seen walking away from her Moscow, Colorado home. She left all her belongings behind, including her phone, her identification, her medication, her car, her computer, her tools, and her pet dog. She only had been living in the area for about 3 weeks prior to her disappearance. She had previously lived in Columbus, Ohio. She may be homeless. Although police can find little evidence in her disappearance, her mother believes that she did not leave of her own accord and may have been a human trafficking victim. She does suffer from bipolar and schizophrenia and has been prescribed medication for her conditions, which have been left behind. Her nose is pierced. She has numerous tattoos, including the phrase "live like a lion" on her upper chest, a star behind her ear, a skull on the back of her wrist, stars on the inside of her forearm, a cat with a bong on her shoulder, and other tattoos. Some are pictured below. Rochelle was last known to be wearing a black tank top, khaki shorts, black Nike shoes, and a silver circuit or barbell in her nose. If you have any information regarding Rochelle's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Alamosa County, Colorado Sheriff's Office at 719-589-6608. See if we can't get some information generated to where she might be and help get her brought home. We touched on her case last week, but of course we didn't have a flyer yet, and I made it after the show that night and posted it. So thought we would go over it again with a formal flyer.
Right.
So we have pictures of the tattoos and pictures of Rochelle and that kind of thing. So if anybody knows anything, please call the Alamosa County, Colorado Sheriff's Office, and that number is 719-589-6608.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. And mentioned tools and the stuff she left behind. She worked as an auto body mechanic. So,
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
that's scary.
Hopefully we can help find, where she's at and get her back to where she needs to be so they can get her back on her meds and, get her back to going, where she needs to be.
Yeah. That's 2019, she's, in her 30s, age 30 when she first went missing. I mean, I'm nervous. I mean, people in their 30s don't necessarily just take off on their own volition,
Yeah.
I mean, they usually tell somebody. They don't tell everybody where they're going, but they tell somebody,
Right.
But I mean, Rochelle's got missing persons posters up all over the place. I mean, obviously nobody knows where she's at. I mean, somebody may know, but they're not saying anything.
Right. It's time for somebody. If somebody knows something, they need to speak up. It's time to bring her home.
She had a really cool tattoos, though. I like the cat with the bong. I know Ricky's not going to be partial to that one, but here out in Arizona, we like those. I think she's got really cool tattoos.
I wonder what the significance of a cat with a bong is.
I've
never seen that before.
Me neither. That's very unique. That's the first time I've seen that as well. Well, let's come back to Kansas real quick, and this is going to be another one of our series that Brandon's going to be working on, because he's going to do some deeper dives. We're going to talk about Michael Golub, and he is missing from Stanton County, Kansas. Now, I have been in contact with Michael's siblings, and they want some answers. They want to know why there was a double mistrial in this case, and they're kind of furious, and I don't blame them. So Ricky, tell our audience about Michael Eugene Golub.
Okay, he's missing from Stanton County, Kansas since May 20th of 2005. He was 27 when he went missing. He is now 44. He is 6'2". He weighs between 165 and 180. He has brown hair and blue eyes. He was last seen in Stanton County, Kansas at 6 p.m. on May 20th, 2005. He had just finished work at his job at Kramer Harvesting and was supposed to pick up his 5-year-old son at his ex-girlfriend's home, but he never arrived there. He's never been heard from again. He left behind a fiancée with whom he had an infant child. It is uncharacteristic of him to leave without warning. Michael's gold and brown Chevy S10 truck with toolboxes and Trego County, Kansas license plate was found abandoned on a county road in northwest Grant County, Kansas, 2 days after his disappearance. Following the truck's location, authorities began investigating Golub's disappearance as a potential homicide. Shannon Floyd, Golub's ex-girlfriend, and her husband Chad Floyd were arrested and charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder in Golub's case in June 2006. Authorities believe he went to their home, was shot to death on the night of his disappearance. There was a great deal of animosity between Shannon and Golub, and they frequently disagreed over child support and visitation issues relating to their son. Golub's blood was found on the Floyd's front porch. The Floyd's defense attorney said there was insufficient proof Golub was dead and suggested he had committed suicide or left of his own accord. At the couple's July 2007 trial, the jury was unable to reach a unanimous verdict, and a mistrial was declared. The second trial also ended with the jury unable to reach a verdict. Michael's body has never been found, but foul play is suspected in his case due to the circumstances involved. If you have any information regarding Michael's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the KBI at 800-572-7463 or 785-296-4017 and see if we can't figure out what happened to Michael and get him back home to his family where he belongs. I know we've covered him multiple times, so it's time for somebody to speak up and tell what they know.
Right.
And Trisha's saying, I'm so glad you guys are going to do TikTok. I will share your TikToks. Well, thank you, Trisha. Appreciate that.
Well, Brandon's the better looking one out of us three, so we're putting him in charge of that one.
Yeah.
And the only reason he's better looking is because he has more hair than both of us, so he can hide everything. Like me and Ricky, you can just see everything. So.
Right.
And now that Ricky's got his new HD camera, let's get a look at you. Look at you. Yeah. I think you're handsome, man. I think we should point out that you're single. I'm just going to say that. Ricky's single. Just leave that little nugget of information. No, I think you look good, man. I think your new studio looks good. I think you deserve it.
This camera, though, just makes my hair look redder. It's not brown.
One thing that you and I, you have mentioned to me a few times that you have no gray in your hair, and this is
not yet. There's a strand or two up there, but that's about it.
And you're saying that there's no just for men in your bathroom.
It's all natural. It's all right here.
I have like 6 gray hairs right here, so that's how I know that I'm not invincible. It's happening. I'm getting old. We got 2 more cases to cover. Let's cover this next one, and then we're going to bring our buddy Brandon up here for the last case. Let's talk about Maria Pasquale. Love her name.
And yes, that's her actual name. I verified that when I was making her flyer because I wanted to make sure I had it right. And I said, is her name actually Pasquale? And I said, yeah. I said, okay. So Maria Pasquale is missing from Wichita, Kansas since November 29th, 2021. She's 17. She is 4'11", weighs 160 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. And it's believed she may either be in Coffeyville, Kansas, or she may be trying to get to Guatemala. Again, she's 17. She's 4'11" and weighs 160 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Maria's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or, as usual, the KBI 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get her found back to where she needs to be. And my biggest question is if they think she's trying to get to Guatemala, how is she doing that on her own, or does she have assistance from someone?
Someone's helping, maybe. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Maria is smarter than I was at 17, but I couldn't have got across town at 17. I don't know how. You're right. I don't know how she's planning some big cross country. Not cross country, leaving the country trip.
Right.
I don't know. It's sad, but it's been a little while now, though, so I understand. This is
definitely. So if anybody knows anything, please call those numbers that I read off. The 316-660-9452 or the 316-660-9456 or the 316-263-6011 or KBI 785-296-4017. And see if we can't get her found and back home. I know there's a lot of people worrying about her.
Right. Well, we got one more case tonight. It's going to be our title episode. The title of the episode, Dana Jane Bruce. And we gotta talk about that. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, but it's going to be another one of the cases that Brandon takes a deep dive on. And we're going to talk about it tonight and get a little familiar with it and let you know what's going on. You're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. We'll be right back after this. And we're back.
I always like those reels. Those are good.
Yeah.
And you said that was last week's reel?
Yeah, that was last week's reel. We're going to upload that especially on the Facebook page as well. So that'll be available, but we like to show those. But yeah, Brandon, welcome to the show. How you been?
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I've been doing all right. Glad to see Ricky's looking all good in HD.
I like it.
Rocking my KMU hoodie.
Sweet.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, take a look at that there.
Is it comfortable?
Oh, it's super comfy. I did get the 2X though.
You got the
That's
2X?
one thing about getting the 2X too.
Do it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
They're super comfortable.
I'm liking the fact we all have matching backgrounds. That I love. That's been something I've been wanting for a long time.
It looks legitimate for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, because you got me in Kansas, you got Derek in Arizona, you got Brandon in North Carolina.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should have themed backgrounds like with North Carolina, Arizona, Kansas. Just let the people know, hey, these guys are doing this all over the place. Like I can be in a desert.
I like the KME background myself.
Ricky can be in a dust storm.
It'd be a what?
You can be in a dust storm.
No. We had a heck of a one, that's for sure.
You're right, man. Well, Ricky, tell me and Brandon about Dana Jane Bruce. I know you've told me about this case several times,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna
she's
listen this
missing
time. No, I'm
from.
just kidding. Tell me about it.
Yeah, she's missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th of 2008. She was 23 when she went missing. She is now 36. She's 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair and green or hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia, Missouri. She had left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned after midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. She was last seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with the man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified the man Dana was with on the night she vanished. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and police questioned him about Bruce after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities haven't named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. He told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar, and he never saw her after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush, and she doesn't have credit cards, debit cards, checking account, a cell phone, or a car. Again, she was 23 when she went missing. She would now be 36. She's 5'2" and weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the root, brown at the roots and black at the ends with red highlights. Sorry about that. And green or hazel eyes. She was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word rebel and silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. She has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She is blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced one time each. If anybody has any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100. Or you can call the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or their toll-free number 866-362-6422 and see if we can, help get some information going as to what happened to Dana and where she's at and get her back home where she needs to be.
I just feel like it's the dude that's like, oh yeah, like I don't know. Every time somebody goes missing, it's always like the last person's like, oh yeah, everything was fine, and she just left.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. That seems the way it always seems to be. Is oh yeah, she left on her own after we left the bar or whatever. I haven't seen her since. I saw somebody comment one of the other times we covered her that he probably dumped her out of the truck somewhere between Sedalia and Atlanta. Possibility.
That's a trip. That's a far drive.
Yeah.
It's happened. I have a Facebook friend who had a girlfriend who was murdered in college, and they found her body like 3 states away.
Dang.
It happens.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and that's I think where we end up with a lot of Jane Does and John Does is, they're taken from one place and murdered and dumped in another place, and there's no identifiers on them or ID on them or anything, so they don't know where they originally came from or who they are. And they're like, well, we don't have any reports of missing person from this area, so can't be from here.
Right.
So.
I mean, if I was gonna ever like lose my stuff and kill somebody, I'm definitely not hiding any bodies in my like zip code. I'm gonna go for a little bit of a drive. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not gonna be the guy that they're like, yeah, we found the body in the backyard.
No,
Right,
you're not gonna find the body. If I accidentally do that, I'm not gonna bury somebody in my yard. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't be beyond belief to think that if she is no longer with us, that she might be away from Sedalia. And if the person who was of interest that was the last seen with her went all the way to Atlanta, then all bets are off where that is.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm hoping that somebody somewhere is, looking at these does and trying to match, maybe trying to match it to her, hopefully, and maybe find her that way, hopefully.
Right. And then you hear a lot of times that there's a lack of funding for a lot of the DNA testing that we need done.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame that so many so many answers to questions that people have that keep people up at night are just, financially out of reach for a lot of people,
Yeah.
unless you
That's
get
true.
some kind of special funding. But I don't know. You always hold out hope that, Dana's family and friends and offspring and everything, can find out what happened someday.
Yeah.
And there's always a chance of being reunited if there's some situation like that, so.
I mean, there has been a lot of does here recently that have been identified through, the genealogical DNA searches and stuff like that.
Right.
I've even identified killers through familial, the genetic DNA testing too. Track down relatives of the killer and then the killer through the relative. So it's, DNA is starting to solve a lot of crimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon's going to be covering that case on the TikTok page when we get it on there. Trisha, you're a part of this team with your KMU hoodie over there.
Yeah.
She's our YouTube
holding it down.
And then my brother here. Don't get me started on his severe lack of gray hair. Because he's like 8 years younger than me, and he's like a lot of gray.
He's been putting up with you, man. Ooh.
That could be.
Well, it's been a great show. We will be. What is it going to be? The 30th we'll be back?
I don't know. My calendar's covered over by the green screen.
It'll be the 30th.
Whatever the week from Thursday is.
Yeah, so it'll be a couple days before the new year. So we can do one last show of the year, one last hoorah.
Yep.
And then, I think we'll be back in 2022. So we got one more show this year. It's been a year of growing. We added Brandon.
Yeah.
We're a legitimate thing now. And that's what I was saying.
What are big brothers for?
I love when siblings I love a good pair of brothers because there's a lot of crap being dealt with on both ends. I know that for sure.
Donna's she just turned 42 and she's had gray hair for 20 years since she was 22. Jeez.
I'm telling you, I only got them right here. And you got them in there. See, if I can find them, this is how I'm going to go, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to hear like, oh, Derek died. How you died? Well, he just looks like he just ran into a traffic pole for no reason. Like, must have been something medical. Nope. I was trying to pluck gray hairs in my rear view. I don't know that if I see him in a rear view and I'm on an open road, I'm like, I bet I can get that. And I'm just sitting there digging, looking for that one. Cause I don't want to rip a bunch out, but I try to get rid of him. I'm fighting my age for sure.
Yeah. Our dad, he passed when he was 39 and he had a lot of gray too. He was using Grecian formula back in the day.
Really?
I remember seeing the bottles on the medicine cabinet in the bathroom.
I don't care enough. I'll just go gray. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
See, I'm okay with going gray. If I would go gray, that's fine. 6 gray hairs right here. It just looks, everybody's like, you got something in your beard. I'm like, I don't. I just have 6 gray hairs.
Just this gray right here. I've got them stragglers throughout a little bit. I'm going for Santa Claus, man. If I can make Santa Claus look.
I'd like to get peppered for sure. Get some salt and pepper in here. But it's literally just 6 hairs right here. I'm like, what is this? It looks like I have mayonnaise in my beard half the time. She's like, you got some mayonnaise in your beard. I'm like, no, it's just my gray hairs. There's just no hair there.
They don't put mayonnaise in burritos. Thanks.
I feel better hanging out with you guys. I tell you what.
Good.
That's good.
Kids and stress. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely do it to you.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. But no, this has been a pretty good show, and I really love this new setup. So hopefully I sound better. Don't know if I look better, but
Well, I think the light that we got you, I think it's made for streaming. I feel like it almost looks like you could have makeup on, not in a bad way. Just like your skin looks really good. You can't be that good looking in person. I just feel like it has to be some kind of magic of lights and camera and action. No, but that light's really good for your face. It doesn't. Yeah. It's not coming off in your glasses or anything. Your screen comes in there a little bit, but
I think that the ring light takes some of the glare from the screen off my glasses. Actually,
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks great, man. You look really good. So,
Yeah.
but Ricky's gonna get us out of here. Ricky, say your prayer, and then let's get out of here, man. I'm gonna go eat something.
Yeah, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight to cover these cases, and just pray as usual that these cases fall on the right ears that are willing to talk and give the information that needs to be given to bring these people home and solve these cases. And hopefully people will continue to share and get these things out there for us. And we pray these things in your name, Heavenly Father. Amen.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a suicidal crisis or emotional distress, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.